Hi everyone, it's Candace, and I am in the outdoor classroom right now on a not such a lovely spring afternoon because look up. What do you see when you look up? You see a cloudy sky, and I don't even see one cloud. Well, I don't see any pretty fluffy clouds in a blue sky, I just see these gray clouds, but that's nature. That's part of the weather at TEVA. So the reason I'm sitting here is because I'm about to go inside the garden area, and we are getting excited because something is about to happen. We're so close to planting, but before we plant, I want to show you something. So come on in. I want to show you how I prepared the 3 beds. Watch your step over here, okay? Now, we don't need this. This was sitting outside because I was using it the other day. We don't need this today. We're not planting anything. But before we start planting, we cleaned out the weeds. We cleaned out all the rocks. These beds, we've got 1, 2, 3. You know your beds in the outdoor classroom. They're still here. And I want to show you what I've done because we are so close to planting. All right, come over here. How can you not see gorgeous, gorgeous yellow flowers? Do you know what this is? All right, scroll down. I mean, these are gorgeous. I wish I could pick them and bring them inside for my Shabbat dinner this week, but I'm not. I'm going to leave them. You know what this is? Scroll down. This is our kale. Can you believe this kale? It's like monster kale. Now, I have a picture of you standing in front of this kale, and the kale was like to here, and now it's huge. But it fell over. Do you remember why it fell over? I think I may have told you last time. It fell over because we had super winds and super rain, and that's what it did. It just leaned over. That's how strong the wind was. So I want to pick it up. I don't like it leaning over like this. I mean, it's not going to hurt the plant, but I want it to stand up. I want to see how tall it is. I would like to measure this kale next time I'm here. But before I do, look at this garden. This bed is ready for planting. Look at it. The soil is beautiful. I pulled out all the weeds. Now, it is a little bumpy like this. I do have to smooth it out. I'm going to have to turn over my soil. That means I keep digging and turning it over, not with my hand, but we want all these big clumps to turn into soft little soil like that. That's beautiful. That is ready for planting when you see beautiful soft soil like this. All right, these big clumps like that, I've got to work on it. But this kale is amazing. This kale was planted last year and it stayed all the way through the winter. Kale can do that. It's a very hardy plant. So how do I get this to stand up? I can't tell it to stand up because it won't listen. So I'm going to pull it up like this. Can you still see me? Yeah, I see you. Okay. So I want this kale to stand up. This is a garden stake. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it right in the ground like this. I'm going to push into the soil that I turned over. Okay. Now, okay, I can leave it like that, but you know what's going to happen? The first crazy wind that we have, that big wind, it's going to blow right down. It's going to fall down all over again. So wait a minute, stay up, kale. Come on, work with me. Okay. What we have to do is I have to tie it. Oops. So I'm going to take off my gardening gloves. Now, you can tie plants. There's lots of different kinds of stakes. Not the stake you eat. It's a garden stake. It's meant to hold up something, and something's going to grow up your stake. So I've got string, I've got little wires for gardening, but I'm going to use my green string. I want to keep that kale up. So let's see. And I'm just going to tie it. Now, why do we have these flowers? Well, kale is going to flower like most plants because where do you think we get our seeds from? I'm going to show you. All right, this ties nicely. There, I'm going to tie it once, just up there for now. So where do plants come from? Of course, they come from seeds, but I don't see any seeds on this plant. You know when you open up a cucumber or a tomato, you've got all those little seeds in there? There's no seeds on this plant, not yet. So where do seeds come from? How do we go from a little pack of kale seeds? This is how they start. This is the beginning of a plant. These tiny seeds, one seed turns into this plant, our monster kale plant. All right, so how do you get from this to this? Easy. Well, not so easy, but it works. All right, you get that seed and we plant. I planted this last week. We put our little seeds right in the soil. Okay, we're starting our seeds. Guess what? Guess what has sprouted? teeny tiny seedling. We've got our seeds, then they turn into the seedling, and we wait for this to get nice and big, plant it in the ground, and guess what? Monster kale. So you go from seed to seedling to plant. Now, where do the seeds come from again? I don't see any seeds. What happens is these flowers, you can see these flowers start to open, they bloom, and once they finish blooming, they turn into, look at these right here. This is going to be, you can't really tell because it hasn't turned yet. It's going to get really brown and old and not be pretty anymore. And then it turns into a little pod, P-O-D. I don't have any to show you, but I will next time. And inside these pods, see, I'm not gonna pick it yet. Inside a little pod is about this big. That's where you get the seeds. It's so cool. So it's like a big circle. You've got your seed and your seedling. And then you plant it, you've got your plant. And then wait, the plant gives you more seeds and that goes round and round. This is so beautiful. Now, what's really great is that the bees love to collect pollen. They pollinate. After they pollinate, they don't really smell. That's when they die off and they turn into little pods. But I don't see any yet. But right now, I'm gonna have to pick up all my kale plants. I'm gonna leave this right now, just one, because I wanna show you something else. All right, so this garden bed, this little scan there, is ready to go. Now, over here, our first garden bed. Now, we have something here already. I don't know if you remember, in the fall, we had these huge green things with leaves, like taller than me. Those are called Jerusalem artichokes. It's a funny word. It has nothing to do with Jerusalem, and it has nothing to do with artichokes. That's just the name. But what happened is, all those tall sticks, they die down. I take it away, I compost them, and in the spring, you have all of these. These are all going to be Jerusalem artichokes. These little plants are going to grow this tall, taller than me. I hope you remember. And what happens is, when I was turning the earth over like this is what I did this morning. This is what you do, you turn it over. Look at that beautiful soil, all right? Like that, beautiful soil. What I did is I found some of the Jerusalem artichokes. These are from these, well, when they're super tall, okay? These are in the ground. They're like potatoes. They grow underground. So I kept moving these around. This is so wild. All right. Oh, see, look at, wait, there's a little more. No, that's a rock. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. No, that's a leaf. All right, nothing here. Oh, look at, okay. I am harvesting the Jerusalem artichoke. It does not look very pretty, especially with all the soil on it, but I'm gonna take these home. I'm gonna slice them up and roast them. So this is from this tiny plant, but this just spreads. I planted 3 plants, 3 Jerusalem artichokes, and they spread, they grow under the ground. It's so cool. This is awesome. All right, I'm taking these home tonight. Thank you, garden. All right, so I turned this whole bed over. All the soil looks beautiful. That bed's been turned over. All the soil looks beautiful. I've got one more. Now, this bed has something in the middle. All right, our friends in the fours, they planted these daffodil bulbs in the fall, and beautiful. They grew, I mean, they're not so pretty now because they finished blooming. So, how do I plant in this bed when these are in the way? Well, these are bulbs underneath, and they're gonna come back every year. These daffodil bulbs are gonna come back every year. Now, underneath, that's where the bulbs are sitting. And I'm not gonna take them out, because if I take the bulbs out to get ready for my garden, then the flowers won't come back. So I need to keep these here. So how do I know? Let's see. If I clip off all the dead flowers, which are not so pretty anymore, okay, I wanna make sure, goodbye daffodils, thank you for your beauty. Okay, all right, so, wait a minute. I mean, I wanna start planting soon, so I've gotta take care of these. Now, if I just left them alone, they would just fall down. See, they would just turn brown and just kind of fall down, and then I could just kind of compost them. But I'm just kind of clipping these just for now because, let me see, wait, watch me, let's see how fast I can do this. Okay, super fast, there we go, see? what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the green away right now. Man, oh my gosh, hang on. It's like a race. All right, let's see. Wait, 4 more. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. All right, 5. Let's see. All right. Now, again, I'm leaving these in here, but I have to turn over the soil. Turn over the soil again means, oh my gosh, I've got to do that and turn it over and kind of chop out all the big chunks. But I don't want to touch these bulbs. I want them to come back next spring. So I'm very careful. I'm going to go all around this line. See? This is how you turn over the soil. It's so much work, but it's great. Hang on, like that. Like that. Now I'm not going to show you the whole bed because it's going to take me a while, but I'm going to make sure when we plant, I'm going to make sure I cannot plant in the middle. So we've got bulbs there. Sometimes you have to write things down when you garden. Sometimes you forget. Or sometimes people help you and they don't know if there's bulbs there. So I have a lot of work to do. I've done that bed already. I've done this bed. This is ready for planting. This bed is almost ready for planting. So I'm excited because I bought so many vegetables. I bought so many seedlings the other day at Gilberti's, this amazing, amazing organic nursery in Connecticut. So I'm excited, but I have to go home. I have to rest because I have a lot of planting to do after I finish turning over the soil in that bed. So I'm going to finish the kale, picking up the kale. Oh, look it already. Okay, oh, this snapped off. That's okay. All right, we're going to have, and I wonder how tall these are going to grow. I'm going to leave them for a little bit. Now, the problem is, if you leave the flowers, sometimes the kale leaves are a little bitter. You know that taste where it just doesn't taste right? So we're going to see what happens, all right? But I am definitely going to look for these seed pods when they're dead, when they're not blooming anymore. I'm going to take them home, and I got myself some kale seeds. So that's okay, that fell down. That's it, I'm excited. I've got my hose ready. I'm going to hook up my hose. Got my soil, my bed's turned over. That's it. We're going to do some planting very soon. But you know what? I don't want to plant today because look at this weather. It's a little chilly. I can't believe it's spring. It's May and it's chilly like this. I've got 2 jackets over. Anyways, you know what I have to say about spring and planting? TEVA is here. We're going to garden next time I see you. Everyone take care. See you later. Fade out, camera.